All right, guys. I'm gonna real quickly just some random to my second all-time favorite Star Wars film, which would be Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Basically, the newest installment from J.J. Abrams. Many of you would actually call it a ripoff and or actually a New Hope 2.0. And hey, that's totally valid. I understand. But for me, I actually like The Force Awakens, but not as much as I did maybe the first time I saw it. I think actually it went from an 8.5 to maybe 7.1 out of 10. Is more realistic about what that film really is. Um, as far as its accolades, I mean, it has the beautiful Academy Award winning Lupita Nyong'o as Maz Kanata, the space pirate. And while we don't get to see the beautiful young Lupita in the flesh, she actually does her thing in mocap and does great voice work for the character. So she definitely put her stamp on it. I really can't complain too much. Um, we're talking about maybe Oscar Academy Award nomination for Best Sound Mixing, Best Sound, and I think Visual Effects. Um, so I mean, that's what Star Wars is mainly noted for around this time when it comes to award season. Broke all kind of box office records. I mean, it's almost made $2 billion. So I mean, it's an incredible cinematic achievement. It's a great mix of practical effects and miniatures, and also CGI. There's plenty of CGI in there for the prequel lovers. There's a larger scale for those of us that really like the prequels. But it has a lot of homage to the original trilogy, and it just all works. To me, this film is a little bit of something for everybody, for the prequel lovers like myself, for people who love just the originals. They had that feel to it, and also for people who love the Star Wars expanded universe. You're talking about um you know basically Kylo Ren essentially is Jason Solo from the old EU. uh your Rey is essentially Jaina Solo, more or less. And it was a little bit of a shock to me because when Disney first acquired and purchased, um, you know, Lucasfilm and Star Wars, they had seemingly worked to bury that, ODU. It's not official canon, it's just legends, blah, blah, blah. But here there are some definite elements um, from that old, EU used in Star Wars: The Force Awakens, which is, it is one of the finer installments for me, for the Star Wars franchise. It's far from perfect. It's not a perfect movie at all, but it's definitely fun and high energy from start to finish. That I can say about the film. Um, so these are my thoughts. Some of the great things I love are the beginning of the film, when Poe Dameron and Kylo basically encounter each other for what we think is the first time there. And I love the Kylo Ren lightsaber. I really do. It's like really unique, and we've never really seen anything like that crossguard lightsaber, um, in Star Wars before. The lightsaber duels were quite interesting between Kylo Ren and Finn. That was just like a very scrappy, realistic type of duel where maybe these guys are not they're not as good as they were at the prequels. With the lightsaber fighting. Um, they're not as polished. Nobody's been teaching and refining Jedi techniques in Form 7 or Form 3 or, what have you, in what, like 50 years in this universe. So it's kind of expected that, they would be a little bit scrappy with the lightsaber fighting, and maybe that gets better, later on in the sequels. Let's hope so. But I actually really enjoyed it. And then Ray and Kylo in that one. I found that lightsaber battle quite enjoyable also. And with Ray, I want to definitely see where that character ends up going for sure. Um, enjoyable movie. I liked it. I want to just get your thoughts on Star Wars: The Force Awakens. So